Okay. I'm Christopher Nemlowill.
And so, Chris, how long have you lived in Clatsop County?
I have lived in Clatsop County since I was about 6 months old. So my parents moved up in 1980. They moved to Astoria right before Mount St. Helens blew. I hear stories of our front porch being covered with ash shortly after we moved in.
Wow. I'm going to kind of move way ahead to the Fort George Brewery. And can you tell me the story about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We opened Fort George in March of 2007 in an old Ford service station, our service building. It was built in 1924, downtown Astoria. It was, at the time that we first started looking at it, was October 2005, and a previous boss of mine, Jack Harris from Bill's Tavern, and I started looking at this building, and Robert Strickland, a local, had purchased the entire block from a Lovell family, and he thought it'd be really cool if there was a bakery and a brewery there. And I was pretty interested in starting a brewery in Astoria. I just really felt like we needed a true community gathering spot and brewery, a brew pub. When I was 18, I got to go over to Cologne and experience the beer culture over there, and really kind of fell in love with the concept of, on Friday afternoons, you would take your whole family and go hang out at one of the Kolsch breweries. And I just thought it was really cool to have that community gathering spot where you could have people from all over the community getting together, talking about life. I just thought it was really important and something our community lacked at the time. So we found a brewery, some brewing equipment on the East Coast. We flew out there, we dismantled it, we drove it back to Astoria, installed it in the back of the building, and then we were able to open the door in March 2007. I went to Clatsop Community College for a couple of years after high school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I ended up going to Southern Oregon University, graduating from there, and I just I traveled around Europe a lot, and the places that I really enjoyed the most really reminded me of home, and I kind of kept feeling like the thing that I wanted to do was move back to Astoria, and I thought that there would just be nothing cooler than being able to make beer and sit down at the end of the day next to somebody who's, you know, willing to pay their hard-earned money to buy a pint of the beer that we made. I really wanted to learn everything I could about brewing, learn everything I could about running a pub and having a pub, and then just kind of fell in love with those big old growth Doug fir beams, and had the right person who wanted to start a business with me, and just felt like the right fit.
What else stands out living in Clatsop County for you?
I've been able to see Clatsop County in kind of rough times and in great times. We definitely had, you know, some economic hard times in the 80s and 90s, and when we lost our canneries, we lost our fish process, most of our fish processors. We lost our plywood mill, and it's great to see downtown flourish. I really think that the fermentation sector, the breweries, wineries, the distilleries are really great for downtown, and they've really, I think they've been the perfect fit for all the old buildings, mostly car dealerships that we just didn't really know what to do with. I saw that, I mean, when we first walked in the Fort George building, half the windows were broken out. There's pigeons living in there. And that's a way a lot of downtown looked in the early 2000s. It's been really great to see revitalization, and I hope we can keep that going, because I think Astoria is an amazing destination. It's a really great beer destination.
So, do you have a favorite beer?
It's something you can really never name out. It's kind of like saying your favorite child, but it really does depend on the time of the day, what the weather's like outside, and what kind of mood you're in. In the winter time, a really big roasty stout is really in season. In summertime, a nice hoppy floral IPA, a lager, something a little bit lighter and crisper might be the beer that I'm going for. So it really depends on those factors. Our number one selling beer currently is Vortex IPA. It's always been probably the most popular beer at Fort George. It was named after a tornado that dropped down on us in Nebraska when we were bringing our brewing equipment to Astoria, and it was quickly one of our best-selling beers, and kind of the reason that we've continued to grow our brewery and thrive over the last 17 years. There's lots of great beers that we make, which is nice. We don't just have one beer that we just make. We make basically over like 100 beers a year. So there's a lot to pick from.
So tell me a little bit more about the tornado.
So we were cruising through Nebraska. We had cornfields on both sides of us. I was driving a U-Haul truck right behind a 56-foot flatbed with all of our brewing equipment on it that we had just purchased. And everything was pretty beautiful out. We started getting these emergency broadcast signals going off that there was golf ball size hail reported. Still didn't think too much of it until a huge black cloud made its way out of the north and headed towards the south right in front of us as we were headed to the west, and then proceeded to start a funnel cloud. And we actually watched it drop down in a field to the southwest of us. We got on the CB truck with the truck driver in front of us and said, "Hey, what do we do?" And he says, "Punch it." So we were trying to outrun it. We weren't able to. Our brewing equipment, we actually watched it disappear into a big, dark funnel cloud. We thought that maybe it was going to be scattered to the cornfields. A couple of the straps that they were holding the tanks on did break or fall off, but our tanks never fell off the back of the trailer. We got under an overpass, dropped them back down, and made it back to Astoria. And so there's a little bit of nature's intensity in every pint of our beer, we like to think. It's a pretty rare thing to have a brewery that's been through a tornado.
Yeah, I think so. I understand that you're doing a beer to celebrate Clatsop County's 180th birthday. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we thought it would be fun to make an official beer of Clatsop County. We decided, to look into kind of historically what was being made 180 years ago, and it was actually the founding year of some pretty big current lager brands, and so we decided we wanted to make an American lager. We've really never canned just an American lager, and so Will, our in-house design artist, came up with a really cool design, and so we decided to create Lower Columbia Lager, and we're going to can a pretty small amount of cans and release them on the anniversary.
So what do you see as your future in Clatsop County?
Well, right now, we've got a 12, 14, and 16-year-old that we're raising, and it's a great place to raise a family. We're right now at our brewery, we're currently installing 1,167 solar panels. We're going to be able to create 70% of the power that our brewery needs. I really plan on just continuing to run the brewery, create a great place to work that hopefully people want to stick around in, and raise some kids in a great community. So that's really my focus right now.
Okay, so one final question. What is it about beer? What is the magic of it?
The magic of it is it's a beverage really created to create joy and community. And it's not just beer. It's craft beer, which is a pretty small segment of the beer industry. We're not making just something to drink. We're making something to enjoy. And so it just feels really rewarding that our community can come together over a really incredible craft beer, have a great experience, and it just, to me, that's really what I fell in love with. I thought that would be incredible to make the best beer in the world and have a world-class experience where people could come together, hang out, and also a really great place to work. I wanted to create a place that I would look forward to going to work every day, and that others could really look forward to going to work at every day. And it doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot of industries that get to do that. So that's what it was for me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. And I love the tornado story. That's wonderful.
Pretty cool. Thank you.